strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome everyone, this is Bulldog here, and the Legends of Venari beta season has just started. We've got a bunch of new players coming to the game, and a bunch of people coming to me with all sorts of questions, which has made me realize that while I've made several videos about this game, I have never put out a guide to actually getting started. So that's what we're going to do here today. I'm going to put together some of the basics for getting started in the Legends of Venari, so you all can get off to a smooth start playing this game. Alright, so let's start here at the very beginning. Let's go create an account. We're here on the home page. We're going to enter the Venari world here. We don't have an account, so down here at the bottom we are going to create one. Now, the first thing we need to do up in the top right-hand corner is connect a wallet. If you are new to crypto, new to NFT gaming, and don't have a wallet at all, I have a link to MetaMask down at the bottom. You will just install that as a browser extension. That will help you create an account, and then you can go connect your wallet. We've already got that installed, so we're going to install MetaMask right here. You can also use any of the others as well, but this is the one that's easiest for me. I'm going to connect a brand new wallet here. We're going to exit out. Now you'll see at the top right, that is connected. We're connected to the Ethereum network. That's what's going to be connected to our pass. Now, don't worry about gas fees. I know we say we're on Ethereum. Worry about gas, do not worry about that. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So now we can create an account. So I'm actually just going to use a temp account here because I've already used my emails to sign up with an account. So we're just going to do test account. So we'll create an account here. If I can spell correctly, test account. We're going to agree to all of those. You can certainly go in and read them. We're not going to do that here. And we are going to confirm. Now, do not use a test email because, as it said, it has sent a magic link to our email, and we are going to need that. You will need that anytime you get logged out of your account, or if you're using a new device, it's going to send you that magic link to your email that you can use to log in. So make sure you have access to your email. This is an account I'm never going to use again, so that's why I'm doing this for the purpose of creating this video, but make sure you do not use a temp email address. Use one that you have access to and is secure. So now I went and I grabbed that link from my email, and I have now signed in. Now that we have an account, let's go grab ourselves a pass. There are two different ways to obtain a pass. First, we can go to the marketplace and purchase one, or we can find somebody to lend us a pass. If we can find somebody to lend us a pass, we can play for free and essentially play as somebody's scholar, as it's commonly referred to. But first, let's look at purchasing one. The in-game marketplace is actually not available yet, so we do have to go to OpenSeas in order to find one. I've got the link in the description if you would like to go this route. So there are a couple different things you want to look at when deciding which pass you should get here. First are the different colors here, the different factions. We have Vestal, Tala, and Azul passes. Each one has access to some faction-specific Venari. Overall, that's a pretty small percentage of the population, so the game mostly plays the same regardless of which one you have, but it does make a slight difference. The other thing to look at is the number of base passes each one has. If you click on your pass, you want to come over here to view pass details. This is actually pretty important here. So come click on the details, and then you want to look at the number of base passes each one has. Each alpha pass can generate a set number of base passes. This one, all of the base passes have already been obtained. So this one is going to be less valuable than some other alpha passes, such as this one right here that still has 2 left to unlock. Every 20 days of playing the game, you will unlock a base pass, and that is another pass for another account to play the game. You could lend it out to your own scholar. You could sell your alpha pass and play on your base pass. The base passes that have been generated by the alpha passes can be played in beta. Now, base passes can also generate more base passes. Those cannot yet be played yet, but the ones that come from alpha passes can. So, and right now, because the in-game marketplace is not available, the beta passes cannot be sold, but there is still value in generating those. So if 2 passes are the same price, I would highly recommend grabbing one that has more beta passes that it can generate. Once you have a pass, you can view your pass by coming down here to the third icon on the left and then clicking on passes. You can come click on any pass and then you will need to activate it. You can see mine's already activated here. Whenever a pass is activated, whether it's for yourself or for a scholar, it is activated for 24 hours. I typically have auto reactivation on. That will automatically reactivate that 24-hour period. If you ever want to deactivate it, you can turn that off. The 24-hour period will need to finish up, and then the pass will no longer be activated, and it can be assigned to somebody else or sold or whatever you're wanting to do with it. You can also claim your base passes here, and then you can set the lending percentage as well. So if you are lending out your pass to a scholar, you can change the percent here. There will be an option down at the bottom. I can actually go click on one of those on a different pass. We can find one that's not active here. So because I do have some scholarships available, if anybody's wanting one, come to my Discord. So you can come down here, you can allow requests right there. You can set the percent that you want. 50 is pretty standard right now. And then you can send out the link to this pass. Just copy and paste the address, send that out to your scholar. The scholar can come in here and send in a request to activate the pass to their account. That will come in, you simply click a button to activate it. Again, I don't have any requests at the moment to show you, but it's pretty straightforward. Scroll down here and you can activate that pass, or you can lend that pass to a scholar. Now let's get to the good stuff and start to actually play the game. The first thing we are going to do is set some baits. So you will actually start the game with 30 Aurea or 30 tier 1 fruit up here. That is the cheapest bait in the game. You can see down here, I've got some other ones. There actually is a shop in the very first location, the city of Tecta here where you start, where you can go buy better baits. It's the fourth option over here on the side. So if you come down here, you can buy some working eggs, some meat scraps. There are some more expensive bait that will attract some different Venari, attract some better Venari, give you more gold in return. So I typically set those, but you don't have much gold when you first start, right? So you might need to use some of those berries. That is okay. If you're ever running low on gold, you can even come click on this plus sign next to your gold, and you can exchange energy for berries. So if you run out of gold and you can't buy anything from the shop, you can exchange energy for berries, and that's a way to get some free baits there. So let's go ahead and set one. If we come back down here to equip, let's set a lurking egg. So we'll set a lurking egg, click that there, and then we're going to set bait. And it's got a 15-minute cooldown timer. So that timer is going to be dependent on the quality of the bait that you set. As you get some tier 2, some tier 3 baits, they will have longer timers. Now we simply wait for more Venari to show up, but there's actually two different locations that you've unlocked at the start of the game. So if we come down here to the very bottom icon on the left-hand side, there's City of Tecta. You can actually go to the glowing forest as well and set another bait. So you can start off setting 2 baits in 2 different locations. As we catch Venari, we will actually gain experience points and we will level up our world. We'll level up our account, which you can see over on the right-hand side, and then we'll level up our world, which is up top here where it says City of Tecta. I am level 4. So level 4, I have access to the first 4 locations. I can travel between any of those for free. I can go back and forth setting different baits. As I get level 6, I'll unlock another location, level 9, level 10, and so forth, and that's going to allow us to find different types of Venari, find higher tier of Venari. At level 7 for that world, then we can actually advance to the next world, and we can spend gold to move back and forth between worlds. Once you get to another world, it's repeating the same process. Then you have to level up Iena and then go through the same thing. Each location here is going to need a different level, and there are now 3 different worlds which you can reach. The first 2 are the same ones that we saw in alpha. Now here in beta, this was a brand new one. So I'm pretty excited to get to that one. As you level up and have access to tons of different locations throughout 3 different worlds, it can be hard to keep track of your bait. You can actually come over here to the second icon and it will show you all of your active baits, where the cooldown timer is, and you can click check bait to actually travel to that location. Let's go back and let's try and catch our very first Venari on this video here. So to catch it, we are going to click on that Venari and we are going to equip a rig. So when you first start the game, you will have this tier 0 makeshift rig. These other 3 you can purchase when you get to Lyra in Tecta. That's going to be at level 4. So that's kind of one of your first goals, is try to get to level 4 so you can upgrade your rigs. That's going to make it easier to catch Venari. There's different types, like there's a fighting one, there's a play one. So there can be a little bit of different strategy involved. So we're just going to use a generalist rig. I'll use my tier 1. You'll be using a tier 0 at first. And then we have to choose which bait we want. For tier 1 Venari, which are the easiest to catch, the most common, I highly recommend not using any sort of bait here unless you know that you need it. And I'll kind of explain what I mean by that in just a moment. But if you bring bait, you're going to use it. So that's going to essentially cost you gold in order to use that bait. Most tier 1s don't need bait. There can be some that do, but in general, most do not need it. You know if it's a tier 1 by this little color dot here. So a green one is going to be a tier 1. The blues will have a tier 2. You can recognize them. You can recognize them that way. So we're going to go in without any bait. We're going to hit Start Expedition down here. This is going to cost us 2 energy. The amount of energy is dependent on the location. As you get up to higher level locations, some of them will use 10 energy, some will use 25 energy. The ones at the beginning are just going to use 2 energy. So let's click on that. And now we've got a chance to capture our Venari. So you see 3 options down here at the bottom. Feed is grayed out for us. Generally, I would assume a tier 1 does not use feed until you find out otherwise, until you've eliminated the other options. So we're going to choose between play and fight. And unless you're looking this up online someplace, you don't necessarily know which one it is. So you can possibly look it up. For tier 1, everybody in the game has the same combinations. For tier 2, everybody will have the same number of actions, like if it's 2 play or 1 fight, but they will be random for each account. And after you catch them so many times, they will be mixed up again. So it gets a little harder with tier 2 and tier 3. We have 3 actions here, as you can see up here above. It says poor. That's our current catch chance is poor. There's going to be 3 actions. For tier 2, you'll have 5 actions. For tier 3, you'll have 7 actions. So it gets harder and harder. If you fail 3 times, the Venari actually flees. So for the tier 2 and the tier 3, that's all down the road. You're mainly going to see tier 1s. So to kind of get back into this, each one has a set option. So our first choice is either going to be play or fight. So we're just going to randomly guess. We're going to guess play. Let's see what happens. So it turned red, but our screen turned green. So turning red means it was actually the wrong choice. This Carium, again, assuming it's not feed, probably wants fight for the first option. We chose play, so our chances of a successful option were very low, but it turned green. So he actually liked us playing with him, but it still wasn't necessarily the right one. We just got lucky there. So let's guess again. Let's go with play again. So play, this turned green, and then our screen turned green. So that is very good. That means it was the right option. And then it turned green, so the RNG was favorable to us, and he did actually accept that action. Now it could be green, and it could still turn red, but it's still better to choose the right option. And each option is independent. So the second option is always going to be play, regardless of what for this Venari, for this type of Venari, it's always going to be play, regardless of what we did with the first one. The first option has no impact on the second option, which has no impact on the third one. They are all unique options. Let's go and guess fight. So here we guessed right again. We guessed green. We chose green, so we chose the right option, and then our screen turned green. So that was good. That was a successful action there. Now, if it was the right option, but the Venari didn't like it, it could actually turn blue. Up here, it would turn blue. The screen will always be green or red, but the little icon up here would turn blue. Blue means you made the right choice, but the Venari just didn't happen to like it. You got bad RNG. So now our catch rate is good. So let's try and catch it. We'll see what actually happens. Our screen's either going to turn green or red. It's RNG, so unfortunately it turned red. We did not catch the Venari. it ran away. We still gained some experience points, but unfortunately that one just didn't work out for us. Let's go see if we can catch another one. Maybe find one that we already have the actions to. So let's come over here. You can see this one we have the correct actions for. It's highlighted over here in green. We know it's 2 fight and 1 play. So we're still gonna equip the same rig. Let's go in and hopefully we can find out what it looks like when we catch one. So you'll notice here, it selected the right action for us. If we had selected the wrong one previously, it would be red. So now it's selected green. We've guessed in the past, but now I know the right action, so I can come here and click fight. Green, that is good. We'll click fight again. Another green, that's really good. Of course, they're not gonna pop up blue while I'm trying to make the video. So we got a perfect one. Perfect means we have a 100% catch chance. So we are going to catch this Venari, and that's going to give us gold and give us XP. So that is very good. You're gonna see we get more XP than we got when we failed. 82 experience points, 862 coins. That's gonna allow us to go buy some more bait, gain that experience, so hopefully we can get to new locations. So that's how we catch Venari. Let's go try and catch one more here. Let's see if we can get that blue icon just so you guys can see what it looks like. It's gonna be the exact same process that we just saw. We already know the combo here, so we're going to choose all the right actions. But here, it turned blue. Our screen turned red, so the Venari did not accept that action. Nothing that we did wrong, just happened to be bad RNG. This was a pretty easy one to catch. We still get a perfect, even though we only got 2 out of even though we only accepted 2 of the 3 actions, we'll be able to catch that. So you'll once again see we get the gold, we get the experience. We knew it was going to turn green because it said perfect. Now let's go actually look at our inventory. So once we've caught one, you can come over here to the third option, and it's going to show you your Venari. You can search them, you can do different filters here, but we can click on one and it's going to show you different stats. So there are different stats, there's different constellations, there's different sizes. Right now, none of that really has much of an impact because the only feature in the game right now is catching Venari. As we get into eventually being able to battle with them, the different constellations, the different sizes could make a difference. So we don't really know which ones are good right now and which ones are not. That will all come later. Right now, it's just about collecting these Venari so that we can prepare for that next phase of the game down the line. You can also power up your Venari here and use shards or essences. I'll show you what we mean by those here in just a moment. You can come down and release it. So releasing a tier 1 Venari does not give you anything. So I would not recommend releasing any of them. If you're wanting to clean up your inventory, you can, but like I said, we don't know what the ideal constellation or size could be for building different strategies down the line, or whether if you're going to want maybe different types. You can, even of the same Venari, you might want one for this build and you might want a different size for another build. We don't really know. So I would recommend just keeping all of your Venari there. As for the shards and essence, I can show you what those mean by going to our tier 2 or tier 3 Venari. So I do actually have some of those. Let's go back to my collection here. We're going to hit this filter and we're going to sort by tier. So let's find a tier 2 here. We're going to apply that. These are ones that I caught earlier in alpha. So let's look at this Lumina here. We should be able to click on it. There we go. And it's going to pop up. And what we can actually do is release this. And now you see that we can get things. We can get water essence for releasing it. We can get cores for releasing those. And that will then allow us to come and level up or power up this Venari. So essentially the way to level up these Venari is to catch tier 2 and tier 3 Venari of the same type is helpful as well. So you can get that same type of essence, and then you can release them in order to power up your others. There is also a population limit that resets weekly. This is the Venari have a dynamic population as far as the tier 2 and tier 3 Venari go. So there is a limited amount of tier 2 you can catch each week, and the more that are caught, the more difficult it gets to catch for that week, and they can actually basically become impossible to catch. And if you do find one that has exceeded its limit, you can still catch it, but instead of getting the Venari, you'll actually get the essence or get cores instead. It's basically like catching it and then being forced to release it right away. So it can be good to find those. You can find some of these resources, but that's the big benefit of finding these tier 2 and these tier 3 Venari, is to either get the Venari themselves or to get those resources. And it can also be nice if you're one of the first 100 to catch a specific type of Venari. So if we come back here, if we go to these filters, let's go to a tier 3. I'll show off my little gem here. The first 100 Venari of a specific type are actually serial numbered. So you will see that right up here. You can see it talks about it as Event Venari Genesis. That means it's from the alpha. And then number 1. This was actually number 1. I was the first one to catch this Ice Jinhu. So that was pretty cool. The first 100 are serialized. So there's always a big rush when new ones come out, and to go and try and find those. As beta's just starting, we've got a ton of tier 2 or tier 3 Venari out there that could still have their serial numbers. So there's always a rush to go catch them. Anytime we run an event and they're adding new Venari, it's a rush to go try and find those low serial numbers. So if you can find one of those, absolutely hang onto them, and those are a little more special. And that's basically it. Those are the essentials for getting started in Legends of Venari. I hope this answered any questions you had and cleared anything up. But if you still have more questions, feel free to drop by the Discord and ask either myself or the rest of the community, and we would be happy to help you. Or drop by my Discord and request a scholarship. You guys saw all of those alpha passes that are continuing to generate more base passes, so I'm constantly looking for more scholars. So don't be shy, come by and ask for a pass if you are looking for one. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. That's the best way to help out content creators like myself. I appreciate you all. I'll be seeing you around the game.